The meeting of the Jims is now in session. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just grabbing a beer. Go ahead. Start the meeting. I believe we all know why we're here today. The gruesome murders of shirtless Jim and paint-sniffing Jim have not gone unnoticed. And I think we all know who's responsible. It's the Tit Goblin, everybody. CFL Jim, please explain. Yeah, he's done some pretty heinous things. It's disgusting, deplorable, and he must be stopped. Here's the plan. We all know that the Tit Goblin is after the keys to Oz. Wizard Jim will pose as the Wizard of Oz to lude the Tit Goblin into a false sense of security, thinking he's finally gotten what he's after. Once he's been lulled into a false sense of safety, that's when Wizard Jim will knock him out and we'll all gang up on him and take care of it tonight. Should the Tit Goblin not stand trial? He can't go to trial. It's just never going to hold. You expect justice to be done when there is no justice system in place. Us Jims are the justice here in the garage. That's what needs to be done. But there are rules, Investigator Jim. We'll figure it out later, but this is the plan as it stands. Wizard Jim goes after him, gets him to where we need him, and then we take care of it. With the power invested in me by the great Jim above, I call this meeting of Jims adjourned.
Do you believe in magic? Just like the story about the Wizard of Oz, I had a wish to be a very special girl.
Make a wish.
I really, really wanna know so much. So tell me, are you the Wizard of Oz? Will you take me to the land of Oz?
Yes, I will come on.
Let's go then. But that's your house and not the land of Oz.
But this is much more fun.
Really? You can be my wizard, but don't tell anyone. Just like the story about the Wizard of Oz, I had a wish to be a very special girl. I really, really wanna know so much. So tell me, are you the Wizard of Oz? Wizard, wizard, will you be my wizard?
We got you now, you son of a bitch.
God, I didn't kill those people, man.
Don't play pretend with me, Tit Goblin. I know it was you that's been killing all these Jims, leaving their mangled corpses all over for us to find. I've been on the hunt for you for a while now, and now I finally fucking have you.
You're not gonna get me on anything because I didn't do anything, stupid bitch.
I can't let that happen.
Let me explain everything.
Now, why would you go and do that? What do you mean, CFL Jim? He got exactly what he deserved. I get that he needed to die, but it was so distasteful for what this place is. The garage is a place of beauty and tranquility. And you sullied it What are you saying? It wasn't even him doing these murders. It was me. That's right. That can't be. That's not true. It was me all along, and you didn't even have a fucking clue. Poor, stupid investigator Jim. You're supposed to be the brightest of us, and here you are, a sniveling, stupid dog who doesn't know what to do once he's caught the only person he's ever been after. God damn it, Jim. You're going to pay for that. You're all going to pay for sullying this place. Everyone split up. We gotta find this son of a bitch. Got it, Jim. Good idea, investigator Jim. Ah! God.
Hello, Investigator Jim.
God damn it, CFL Jim. Where are you?
You'll just have to be patient. You'll see soon enough.
Son of a bitch, you're gonna pay. No Jim does this to their own.
Oh, au contraire, my friend.
Investigator Jim, did you hear? What have I done? Look at you, Jim. Groveling. This is what the garage deserves. Just do it, you bastard. The garage, Jim. Ah! It was all just a dream? Hey there, guys. Oh. Hey guys, CFL Jim here with my last 21st and final CFL recap for week 21 of CFL action. Let's get into it, shall we? Game number one, we had the BC Lions taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, with the Bombers winning 24-9. This was a very important game. This was a very respectful game because Nathan Rourke is back. The Canadian kid is back. My Canadian of the year is back. We saw him back in action. He was looking pretty good. A little hesitant at points, but that's to be expected with being out as long as he was. The real story of this game is that the Bombers are so fucking good. They're still so good. Zach Colaro's just wanted to dad dick somebody, and you know what? He and the rest of the Blue Bombers dad dicked the BC Lions. They came through in the first quarter and just set the tone that this game was not them messing around. This was them making a statement. And boy, did they. They looked fantastic. The Bombers are all the bit back. They're hot for the playoffs, which for a team that's been as good as they've been all year, the fact that they're getting hot right now is a very scary proposition for the rest of the CFL. The BC defense left a lot to be desired, especially early on. They kind of came back and did a little bit later in the game, but man, they just didn't have an answer for what this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team was doing. And Dalton Schoen, oh my God, Rookie of the Year by a landslide. I don't think anybody's even particularly close to him. He's just been electric. I can't wax poetic enough about this Blue Bombers team. Game number 2, we had the Montreal Alouettes taking on the Toronto Argonauts, with the Alouettes winning 38-33. Again, not too much to talk about in this one. It was nice to see the backups for both these teams. Swag Kelly looking pretty damn good out there, so the Argos have a good second option. It took him a little while to get his rhythm and to kind of get the team going, but the fact that he let a comeback down so much so early shows a lot of poise and shows a lot of promise for this swaggy boy. And Davis from Montreal just looked all the part. He looked good, and Montreal games remain exciting. You can't have a Montreal game, it seems, without excitement. I'm very excited to see, I'm just going to use that word 8,000 times talking about this Montreal team. They're just so fun to watch. I'm excited to see them against Hamilton, and I'm excited to maybe see them against Toronto. And maybe even Montreal could wreck the playoffs with how chaotic this team is. They could win against anybody and lose against anybody. They're the complete chaos team, and I'm glad they made it to the postseason. The Argos, they have a lot of weapons. Their defense is still looking fairly decent. They're looking pretty good right about now. And if they have a backup option in Swag Kelly, they're sitting pretty. Even like McLeod Bethel Thompson's fantastic. Swag Kelly's looking good. This team is dangerous. Game number 3, we had the Hamilton Tiger Cats taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks, and this was similar to Edmonton a few weeks ago. This was Ottawa's last chance to have a home win going into next year. The streak continues, however. Hamilton won 23-16. Ottawa, embarrassing season, terrible season. They fired their head coach. La Police has been disappointing to say the least, and man, it's just bad turnout, bad whatever for the Red Blacks. Hamilton, however, looking good. Heating up at the right time. Similar to how they came in last year. They are playing their best ball going into the postseason, which is a dangerous sentiment. We could very easily see a rematch between Hamilton and Winnipeg for the Grey Cup. I'll get into that later with my season recap playoff previews, but man, this team is looking pretty damn feisty. Game number 4, we had the Saskatchewan Roughriders taking on the Calgary Stampeders, and the Roughriders decided to let down their fans one last time by putting on an embarrassing performance. Both teams wanted to see how they looked with their backup quarterbacks, and I think both look pretty decent. Mason Fine, I think, will be a decent enough quarterback for Saskatchewan, but I do think they're going to be in the running for Bo Levi Mitchell. I think it could be very likely that he ends up going to Saskatchewan. Who knows what happens to Cody Fajardo in this postseason? I don't think he sticks around. I think he's off somewhere else. I think that train has run its course. My other takeaway was Calgary. Defense is good. Offensive line is good. You can kind of throw any quarterback back there and they're going to look good. Tommy Stevens has fucking legs. If they want to do like a dual threat or run a triple option like system, Tommy Stevens is their guy. They have the ability to do it, and he's just so good in short yardage situations. To have a quarterback like that with that kind of offensive line, it's just, it's beautiful. Beautiful to see. That'll do it for my Week 21 recap, which means we are into the final power rankings of the postseasons. Up at number 9, I have the Edmonton Elks. Just disappointing. That's not much more. Basically, I'm breaking it into tiers. So we have the Elks at 9, the Red Blacks at 8, and the Rough Riders at 7. That's your bottom. That's your disappointing tier. I'm gonna slot those in your disappointing tier. Then you have the Ticats, the Als, and the Argos. I'd probably put the Argos on top of that one. It's basically the rest of the East. They looked good, and they're not too separated from the other two that are above them, but there's just that little bit that's keeping them out of the running. Like Montreal's too chaotic. Hamilton, they didn't show it for most of the season. And Toronto, anytime they've played up to their competition, like when they played Calgary last, they just looked out of their league. And I just can't slot them in the tier above. And then you have BC and the Stampeders. BC at 3, the Stampeders at 2. These teams are just cream of the crop. They're looking fantastic. BC, especially with Rourke, is probably number 2. They look good. Their defenses are fantastic for both teams for the most part, and they got good quarterbacks. Their offenses have been good, and they've been very consistent throughout the year. At number 1, you have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, head and shoulders above everyone else. They've had their lapses in certain weeks and ebbs and flows throughout the season, but they're hot right now, and I don't see a single team being able to beat them. If I'm being 100% honest, and us Jims, we're all about honesty. We're all about respect, trust, and honesty. That's what we preach here in the garage. Anyway, that's week 21. That's the regular season wrapped up for the CFL. We're going to be talking playoffs. I'll have my CFL season full recap coming up later this week, and I'll have my playoff previews ready to go, going for you guys. Let's bask in this glory, and let's put all the messiness that's been these last couple weeks behind us and begin anew. It is the postseason. It is a new season, and I cannot wait to be your guide. CFL Jim, see you guys for the playoffs.